Welcome to we got a views from the 22 special live on the scene, and we're pretty much just gonna come to you early and often. National championship game preview, but we got some other people from the scene, and we just gonna cover the game. Germ So True, True Man False World in the building, reporting live. We got Mr. West, Stoppage Time FC. We got Dion. Also, another entity of views is here. Dion, even though he ran from us the last time we talked about the Ravens. Then we got our other guy, Ty, who happens to be live in the truck. And then we got the first lady herself, Tanya, in the building. We'll also have Mr. Storms, Category 5, check in as well a little bit later with us. But hey, let's just go around the horn and give a quick introduction. Let everybody say what's up. Let's start ladies first. The lone Bama fan on the show today, Miss Tanya. Go ahead and holler at the folks. Let them know what's up.
Hi, people. You almost made. I forgot we live. I almost, boy.
Then we got my guy. We got my guy Dion, Ohio State repping. Even though he's a Lamar Jackson fan, don't make sense to me, but it's okay. Dion, go ahead, holler at the folks.
What's good? What's good? OH baby.
Oh.
And then we got my guy, Mr. West. He ain't impressed. And hey, holla at him, man. How you doing, man?
Hey, what's good, fam? You know, you see me a lot with the stoppage time, but we're crossing over into my other realm. I bleed for college football just as much as I bleed for Chelsea. So I'm excited to be here.
And finally, last but not least, we got another member of Views. He be out on the road. You know what I'm saying? My guy, Mr. Ty Sean Neal in the building. Hey, man, talk to these people right quick, man. Go ahead and let them know you here.
Hey, your man from the Views, man. We just back in here doing the college game like we always do. The only Kansas State fan on here, but I love both of these teams. We live for these matchups. Both programs bring money. When we talking money, you talk Ohio State Buckeyes, and you talk about the Crimson Tide. The rest is history.
Hey, he couldn't have said it no better. So with that being said, let's jump right into it. Ham said Ty looked like he about to spit 48 bars. Hey, Ty, you do with the no beef, no Lombardi. You look like you about to spit it. We're going to go on and get into it. So now let's start from the top here in this situation. We got Ohio State and we got, of course, the Alabama Crimson Tide. I mean, in the last 10 years, the model of consistency has been these two programs. Let's just call it what it is. These are two of the best programs in the last 10 years. We got Nick Saban versus a young Ryan Day, who I think is an excellent leader of men, coming from the Urban Meyer coaching tree, we'll call him, because that's who pretty much got him hired, if we can just be fair. So with that being said, let's start from an Alabama perspective. Tanya, what do you have to do to win this game?
The main thing we're going to have to do is contain Sermon. I mean, first of all, we're not Clemson. So that's not about to go down. But I think that's the main thing. That's the only thing I've been looking at, because everything else kind of, you know.
You don't feel like it looks good?
I'm not going to say it don't look good, because it looks good. I mean, you know. But I think that's the piece, that's the main part, because everything else works off of him, really. And Justin Fields, we got to keep him contained as well. So, yeah.
Mr. West, what does Ohio State have to do to win this game?
They got to take what Alabama gives them. You know, the defense for both teams is not stellar. Let's be honest. We talked about this earlier. Of the past 5 or 6 Alabama and Ohio State teams, these are probably the worst defenses for both of them. Not to say that they're not talented, because they are, but they're not the same. They don't have the same quality. Alabama's strength is in their secondary. The problem that I think Alabama might have is not containing Olave and Garrett Wilson, because their two corners are phenomenal. But if they need help, if Alabama needs help over the top and they're forced to play two safeties, that's going to leave Ohio State to play their heavy package to key in on the tight ends. And we saw what they did, against Clemson. 3 touchdowns. They boxed out the smaller defenders, and they just had a day. And that, that in turn allows the running game to open. So that's, for me, that's Ohio State's key is taking what Alabama gives them. And if they're forced to help out over top with 2 safeties, then use the tight ends that they know can produce.
Ty, what is a key matchup that you're looking forward to in this game from your perspective? I know you like the DBs a lot because that's your thing by trade. What do you think? How do you feel? Let's scratch that. How do you feel about Patrick Surtain II?
Patrick Sertain II, man, just being a Miami Dolphin fan, he comes from a great tree, having a father that was part of one of the NFL's top 5, top 3, 4, I think it was 7 years in a row with Zach Thomas, Jason Taylor, and Patrick Surtain, Sam Madison. They were a top 5 and below defense. And having that as a dad, having him as a dad, that gives you a lot of insight on the game. But the thing is, these are the fastest set of receivers you will face. Ohio State is one of the wide receiver universities right now. The past, let's say, 5 years, that's what Ohio State's been, DB and wide receivers. Cam Patrick and Olave go head to head. Who's going to win that battle? If you can contain him, or if Olave gets the best of him, Ohio State's going to take it away. If Surtain's able to contain him and they're able to isolate that tight end that they got, man, that cat's got soft. I think his name is Fuller. That guy's got soft hands, amazing catch radius, big body. It's hard to stop a tight end like that when they got that combination.
That's not Fuller. That's what's his name again? Westrick?
Well, they have Ruckert.
That's
Farrell. Ruckert and Farrell.
88.
88 is
Ruckert.
Jeremy. First name, yep. Hey, go ahead. Finish what you're saying about the tight end. We just want to get his name right on.
That dude is a beast. Absolutely destroyed the Clemson secondary. Once he got open, the running game took over. The last time Ohio State beat Alabama, Lane Kiffin was the offensive coordinator for Alabama. And one thing he did that I did not like was he abandoned the run and got cute and tried to out-throw. What did Ohio State do? They pounded the ball away like they were packing packages. You cannot abandon the run game in this game. Whoever asserts that run game, passing game is opening up and it's taking over. Period.
So we bring up running games. We got Trey Sermon and the Ohio State running game versus Najee Harris and the Bama running game. Let me just start and say this. Now, I'm a scout first. This is from a scouted perspective. I don't understand why they said ETN was better than Najee because I've now seen Najee run routes. That's a grown man. He should have been playing in the NFL about 3 years ago. That's a grown man. Najee, maybe he's the best running back in his class. He will be a little older going to the league at about 23 when he gets drafted, which I'm really upset with him about. And if I get a chance to go to Mobile this year, oh, believe me, he's going to hear my mouth because I don't understand that. You don't go back. You go forward and you go to the NFL like your guy before you, Mr. Josh Jacobs. But Najee versus Trey Sermon, I'm going to let you guys dive in and tell me what y'all like about these players. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it backwards. Ohio State fans, I want y'all to tell me what y'all like about Najee Harris and how you stop him. Dion, I'm going to start with you. What do you like about Najee Harris and how do you stop him?
Well, one thing that is important to realize about both of these backs is that both of their experience, that they both been on campus, not at the same campus, but they've been on in the college world for 4 years now. But with Najee, I like the fact that he's a patient back. He sets up his blockers very well, and then he knows I think the biggest jump for him this year is knowing the difference when to burst through a hole and then allow his blockers to set up. So
how do you stop him?
How you stop him? Oh man, I think he's one of those players that he's going to get his. You just have to limit where you allow him to have his explosiveness. For me, is you it's really run blitzing against him to fill those holes, but that's going to cost you in the passing game. So,
Zach, what do you think?
Both ways. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, no, I'm gonna come to you last for a reason. Don't worry. Don't trust me. Zach, what do you think about when it comes to Najee? Like, what is something that you like about him, and then what do you think is a thing that Ohio State can do to stop him?
In my opinion, I thought Najee Harris is better than Josh Jacobs. That was just me. I like the way Harris runs. He runs downhill. He runs with a force and a demeanor that you don't see in a lot of running backs these days. He's patient, as Dion said. He allows his blockers to set up, but he's got good vision too. And, it's one of those things that you don't see often in those heavier backs. You see those guys that like to force it down the throat, but they're there to run you over. Najee's not like that. He's got that vision. We saw it, and, it's been replayed about 97 million times of him, hurdling the Notre Dame
defender. Grown man.
Yeah, like that defender is, I guessing, was over 6 foot.
He was about 6'2".
Barely leaned over to tackle him. Like, to leap over him is just damn impressive. So for me, if I'm Ohio State, Najee Harris is going to get his. The problem,
you got to fan yourself. Whew.
Yeah, like you got to. For me, if I'm Ohio State, you got to take good angles. You got to keep him in front of you, and you got to wait for help. Najee Harris is too talented to tackle one-on-one all the time. It's just not. It's not going to happen. He's going to get his. So you got to keep him in front and hope that you have help coming. Because if you don't, then he's going to run over you all day.
Go ahead, Dion. I'm going to let you get your last point in.
All right. I just thought about something as Zach was talking. I think the best way to stop him is by keeping him off the field. You have to play with your offense and run the ball and control the time. And you got to jump up on Alabama, which no one has ever done this season. You got to jump up on them and force them to pass. But then they're dangerous passing too. So,
what if I said that Najee Harris is a combination of Derrick Henry and Mark Ingram? Better than Derrick Henry because he's faster, quicker, and has much better vision. He can play every scheme, and he's like Mark Ingram because he's a little bit smaller and he's a determined runner.
Yeah.
You add those things together, that equals 99 problems. But shouts out to the 22 for the views, because that's what that man has on his back, because that's what you normally see, his back. With that being said, Tanya, now Trey Sermon on the other hand. Now, I'm going to be honest with you, and I'm going to come right out and say it. Trey kind of just burst on the scene these last 4 weeks with Ohio State. Now, that doesn't mean he's not good. That means that it could have been health. It could have been Ryan Day finally giving him an opportunity, which we know coaches don't always give opportunities. I see a good back here. What do you like about him, and what do you think is the best way to contain him? And I say stop and contain in the same reference here.
I'm gonna be honest. Like I said, he's to me, he's fairly new because I haven't really seen a lot of him. I'm gonna be completely honest. I've only watched their last 2 games. Like, I watched them against Northwestern and I watched them against Clemson. Those are the last 2. Those are the only 2 games of theirs that I saw. But I like, to me, I like his, like, he looks to me, now y'all might not think so, but he looks to me like he's strong, like a strong runner. And it's like, if you hit him, you're just like some of the others. Yeah, mm-hmm. Like you can't, it's hard.
Like a rubber ball. It's a rubber ball.
So that's what I've seen. So that's something we're going to have to work on.
So I'm rubber, you're glue. Whatever you say bounces back to you. Got you. Yeah, I went childish. So what? Y'all like that? Y'all know y'all like that.
But no, I think now stopping him. I mean, I don't know it's going to be possible to like completely stop. That's not going to work. It's not going to completely stop him
because that offensive line is pretty good too.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. They're very good. So I think the main thing is to keep him in front of you.
That's fair. That right there is a key. He reminds me of a baby Zeke with the balance. Zeke's balance and flexibility is incredible. I've never seen that's why Zeke is a different tier of a running back as a prospect. But where I think he's not Zeke is, I'm not gonna say it's the vision, because I think the vision is there. I think overall, Zeke had a little bit of ball security issues at Ohio State that a lot of people tried to look over. I've seen it all, Zeke. Don't worry, I've seen everything. Trey is going to be a little bit better with the ball, but I don't think he's the athlete that Zeke was. I think he's a very good player. I'm talking like a top 100 player in the NFL draft this season. That's not a knock on you, because third-round players like Kareem Hunt go every day and end up being ballers. It just is what it is.
Yep.
But my input real quick, and I'm going to bring in Ty. You have to just put as many guys around them as possible and make them congested. Make it congested. If you want to stop a good running game, be strong at the point of attack and make sure your backside is always in motion to get to these guys. That's just simply how it goes. Ty, as a guy who likes running backs, what are you thinking about these two players? What are some of the things that you've seen from these players that you really are intrigued by?
Germ, I know we're going with comparisons, but when I see these two backs, I see Harris, Priest Holmes. I see a version of Priest Holmes in him. When I look at Sermon, I see Edgerrin James or Deuce McAllister, a little mix of Deuce McAllister. Just these are backs that are physical, that can almost do everything that you want. Like, remember, Sermon came from the Oklahoma Sooners. He's a graduate transfer. He balled out behind a guy by the name of Anderson who tore his ACL. That's the only reason why we didn't hear from Anderson anymore, and why we heard a little bit of Sermon. But remember, Lincoln Riley likes to be cute. He likes that pass-heavy offense. So Sermon got lost up in the Sooners and knew once he graduate, I'm not going to get nothing. So he went to Ohio State, where they going to run the ball. And look what he's doing. Alabama and Najee Harris. These two are just backs that I don't care who you are. Bring them to Miami. We love running backs. We are always getting good running backs. I'll take Sermon. I'll take Harris. Either one is fine with me, because they both block, they both catch, they don't lose the ball, and they just play.
Hey, this is tampering.
Miami, man.
Hey, this is tampering. We're not doing this here. This is tampering.
It's just views, baby.
Hey, no beef, no Lombardi. That's serious. That's
right.
So offensive line, which team, I'm going to go around the panel, which team do you feel has the better offensive line this year? I ain't going to tell y'all who I think, because I'm going to keep my views to myself right now. I'm going to start with you, Westrick. Who do you think has the best offensive line out of these two teams?
Are we talking present day, or are we talking like healthy, like no COVID injuries? Like
healthy, no COVID. Healthy, no COVID, of course.
Give me the Buckeyes, but not by much. It's close to me. And that's, I'll be completely honest, it's a little bit biased. I've seen more Ohio State games than I've seen Alabama games. So I'll be completely upfront there. They both open up holes, the size of Texas. They both allow their running backs to do what they need to do. But I'm a slight lean to the Buckeyes.
All right, Tanya. Who you got?
I'm a. That's tough because they're real close.
I gotta make y'all rap. In the
What?
words of Lester Stewart, I gotta make y'all rap.
I'm gonna be, I'm gonna be like Zach. I'm gonna say Alabama based simply because, like I said, I've only seen 2 of their games. So I haven't really seen
All of Ohio State's
a
games
lot.
to be able
Yeah,
to
I
judge
haven't
it.
seen a
Okay.
lot of their games. So
But you've seen enough of Alabama to say that
I've
they
seen
got
every single game.
Dion.
Man, I feel like
You supposed now you got a big responsibility here because you got to break the tie and unbiasedly.
unbiasedly.
Good luck with that.
That's crazy because I was going to say Alabama, but now I gotta switch it. But
He
no.
lying. He lying.
Well, seriously, I feel as a unit, I'm gonna say Alabama, and they get the nod because of experience. Most of their line has been with each other longer, and I'm not sure what the status is for Dickerson, their center. But you talking about he probably has a first round grade if he's able, to play and to go in the draft. Where I think they get the other nod is that a lot of Ohio State's talent are guys that's going to be stars tomorrow. If we have this conversation a year from now, Ohio State, but it's not even close because all the talent is undergrads.
Young, very young.
So I'm gonna give it to Alabama, unfortunately.
Okay, all right. All right. We got a couple things going here. Okay, I see what y'all doing. So Vic has a question for Mr. Westrick. He said, why should the Cowboys let go of Dak and try to draft Justin Fields? What's the reason?
Okay, well, let's get this thing out of the way right now. The Cowboys are not going to draft Justin Fields because they don't have the ability to. They're too far down the draft. Justin Fields is most likely going to be the number 2 pick off the board. Most likely, barring something crazy. And I don't want to hear the argument that Urban Meyer, when he takes over in Jacksonville, is going to draft Justin Fields because he's not going to do that either. He's going to take the surefire Trevor Lawrence, even though we both know that Trevor Lawrence isn't as good as what he's being made out to be.
Okay.
But why the Cowboys should let go of Dak? That's, you want to turn this into a 2-hour show, or you just want to keep going?
I just want you. Whew, if we got some heat from Mr. West,
I love it.
He's so unimpressed. Just let's
Mr. West,
take
West,
2
Mr.
minutes
West.
here. Take 60 seconds or 120 seconds and tell me why Dak Prescott should not be the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys next year.
Okay, I'll tell you this. It's not so much that Dak isn't talented. Dak is talented. But I'm not going to pay so I'm a Cowboys fan, so I got to think of this rationally as a Cowboys fan as a whole from the team. I'm not going to pay my quarterback $40 million when we have so many glaring needs on that team. Cap space is tight. They've proven it now. If you look back at the last 5 or 6 years in the Super Bowl, quarterbacks on rookie contracts are where it's at. Carson Wentz was on a rookie contract. Patrick Mahomes was on a rookie contract. Like that's where you got to do it. You got to beef up on other team, like on other players to help out a quarterback on a rookie contract, because quarterbacks just make too much damn money. And it's not really feasible to do it consistently. And if you want to build a dynasty, you need to do it around a quarterback that you're not going to pay right now, as of today, $40+ million that he wants. No thanks. Hard pass.
So I see Mr. West has been paying attention to some of the things that we've been talking about. But this brings a tear to my eye, man. I want y'all to know. Because with the quarterbacks is where it's at, baby. That's where it's at. If you're not Brady, baby, you don't win. That's just how it goes. Baby boy. So look, I really enjoyed that response because I think that that's fair. glaring holes on the football team when it comes down to your quarterback being a guy who can fix some things. I think Dak should be paid on principle, that you've shown that he was actually more needed than you wanted to give credit for. But then I can understand if you come back and say, well, I don't have the same talent that I had before. So if I had similar talent or comparable talent, then you could be the piece that gets me over the hump. But your defense has went from a top 10 defense to a bottom 10 defense. That hurts. And then after that, it's kind of hard because the offensive line is taking a step back. You got a retirement on the offensive line and those type of things. So that's something we're going to be continuing on in the offseason. But to switch gears back to the offensive line and back into segueing into the national championship game, I think that the Cowboys are going to have an opportunity to take one of those Ohio State linemen, or if they feel that they want a tackle prospect, they're going to have a chance to take one of the Bama prospects. So I think that'll be the interesting thing that we'll see here. So I'm really interested to see how this process, folds out there. Now, secondary versus wide receiver core. Now, of course, we've already heard Ty on Olave and Surtain. I'm here for this matchup because this matchup is really, really important. But this time, I'm going to go and I'm going to flip it. Tanya, what do you like about Mr. Surtain II? Yeah, just give me a favorite thing about him.
I like his, he doesn't quit very often. Like, he doesn't quit on routes very often. Like, sometimes he'll get got, don't start today. And, but it doesn't happen very often. So I like the fact that even in those moments that he does get beat, it's like he comes right back to it. It's not like that throws him off the whole game, or he just is, that's what I like.
Short-term memory. Short-term memory.
Very
short-term memory, and he's not a quitter. What do you guys like about Chris Olave? I'm going to start with you, Westrick. What do you like about Chris Olave?
It's just a winner. Like, the drive and determination from that kid is unreal. To in the very seconds of making that bad cut in the game against Clemson that cost him the game, and owning up to it in those moments, knowing that you made the mistake, and then turning around and using that as your fuel for this year, and showing just the tenacity and the growth in a single offseason. The kid went from good. Like, I liked Chris Olave. I love Chris Olave now. Like, the kid is just a winner. He knows how to put himself in a good position to make a play.
Dion, what you got?
I got two things. I'm gonna start with on the field. I'm sure Mr. West I love this reference, but he reminds me of another guy who we had when we had our championship run. And the NFL world probably won't know him. Probably was the worst first round pick. I believe it was the first round pick. But he reminds me of Devin Smith when we had him.
Second round pick, New York Jets.
It was second round pick. But still, he wasn't worse. But point is, when we had him, like, his role in stretching the field is needed for the big gun that Justin Field has in his arm. Off the field, what he does with the wide receivers under him, with Wilson and all those freshman receivers we had, like, I've seen so many reports about how they gravitate to him, and he's been like coaching them up. So, and once I saw that in the off season, and with this whole pandemic going on, and us not having a regular off season, him able to coach those guys up was definitely needed. So that's what I got for all that.
His little number change was subtle, and his reasoning behind it was pretty clutch. I'll give him that too.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What was the reason behind it? Go ahead, tell the people.
He's now number 2. So he's Chris Olave, CO2, like carbon dioxide, and he's suffocating. Mm-hmm. So he's gonna be there, and he's a silent killer. So he's fueled. He's ready to go.
Hey, you might be a first round pick just for being that creative. Ty, let's bring you back into the fold here. Tell me what's some things that you look for in a receiver that you think that Chris Olave has, besides obviously the leadership that Dion and Westrick both talked about here with him. What's one thing that you really, really look for?
All right. One thing
And
I
you're
love
from,
about it.
remember, you from West Virginia where Randy Moss is. So I want you to give him,
Hey,
give him the real.
Randy Moss. I've met what was the old boy's name that played for Marshall for some years, but also played 15 years, 12 years with Tom Brady. Troy Brown. Met him one time, man. Amazing dude, amazing. Got a son that goes to Huntington High, getting ready to go to college. Olave, route run, man. The routes that he was killing. Oh my God, the DB for Clemson on the first, I think it was like the first or second throw of the second drive. It was just a nightmare for him. Every time Olave stepped back and just took off, it was a wrap. It was a goodbye. I love the guy's speed. And not only does he have speed, he has some really strong hands. Because, man, I mean, he just made him look like he didn't even belong in Division One. He looked like he just needs to go back to junior college and relearn how to play the DB position because it was just unforgiving all night for them. Once he got going, that was the end of the game. And I like Chris Olave, route runner, strong hands, speed. I love to see this guy's 40, but like I said, like we said before, 40 don't mean nothing. There's players that's just naturally football fast, and that's one guy that's just naturally football fast.
I mean, then you got guys like Waddle and Devin Smith and Henry Ruggs that all run 4.3s and stuff.
True.
Those
True,
guys
true.
are life fast.
Yeah.
Life comes at you fast. That's what they do.
Bro.
They do. Life comes at what? What? I'm just saying.
True.
Dang, I can't never say
true.
nothing, man. Dang.
True.
All right, so we got an interesting thing here. Waddle can possibly play in this game. Now, Waddle adds another dimension to this Alabama Crimson Tide offense. What does he add? He adds another guy that is going to be able to either create separation deep into his routes, or he adds a guy that is going to be able to take a 5-yard pass and turn it into an 80-yard touchdown. With that being said, with Ohio State knowing those things, is it inevitable that they have to step back and play too deep? Or is it now one of them situations where you say, okay, maybe we can mix in the coverage, or do you have to play too deep? Dion, I'm going to start with you.
You gotta play too deep. You got to, bro. We haven't even mentioned probably the best player on the field in Mr. Smith.
Agent Smith.
Say it again.
Agent Smith. That's Agent Smith.
But you talk about Wild, and I understand the chess move about activating him. If he's ready to go, then by all means, but yeah, you got you gotta run too deep, bro. It's gonna cost you. No, you gotta go too deep.
Westrick, do you want to see any blitzing by Ohio State in this game?
Yeah, you have to. You have to.
How many? 1 or 2, or do you trying to go? You pushing your chips to the middle?
It depends, to be honest. If Waddle suits up, you gotta scale it back a little bit. But if not, you can get a little bit more creative. I think, truthfully, if Ohio State, they're gonna have to play too deep regardless. I'm not a huge Seven Banks fan, and that's who we get matched up with Waddle. I don't think he's as good as what he's been credited for this year. I think he's talented. I don't think, and this is going to sound really kind of arrogant, but this is just the way that, teams like Alabama and Clemson and Ohio State are. I don't think Seven Banks is Ohio State talented. And that's, maybe I could be wrong, but I think he honestly, Dion mentioned this earlier. He's a lot like Eli Apple. I think when he's been good, it's been because of the defensive line allowing him time to make up for his poor reads. So I think Sevyn Banks is extremely talented and athletic. I don't think he's Ohio State talented. So if Waddle suits up, it's going to be a nightmare for Ohio State. And that's where I hope we're going to talk about the defensive line coming soon.
We're about to get ready to talk about it right now. But first, without further ado, let me introduce. We got a storm in here, Category 5. My guy in the house.
Yes, sir. What's going on?
There he is.
We're going to talk about the defensive lines right now as Josh walks in.
I had to wear my favorite new hoodie.
Yeah, absolutely. I knew it was coming. See, I had a troll guard coming. I had to activate him. Troll guard activated. Let's go. So
Yes,
first,
sir.
let's start. Storms up. You come fresh off the bench, man. Fresh off. 6th Man of the Year award. Let's start with the defensive line. What are you looking forward to in this matchup with the defensive line, Ohio State?
Man, so for me, the biggest key to this game is going to be the matchup between Tony Togiai, Haskell Garrett, and the interior offensive line of Alabama, because that was the biggest weakness for Clemson, and we exploited that like no other. That was in my opinion, that was the reason we won the game. That's why we were able to get some stops. We knocked them off the line of scrimmage, and Alabama's interior offensive line is leagues better than Clemson's. So we got to get the same kind of push in order to have a shot. This is tough for me. I think we'll be able to get it done. I'm gonna have a hot take here. I'm predicting 3 sacks between Togiai and Haskell Garrett, and I think that's going to be the big difference.
Westrick, what are your points about Ohio State? We're gonna go to Dion. We're gonna come to Tanya, and then we're gonna go to Ty.
So here's the thing. This is the game. This is the game. The defensive line versus the offensive line. If Dickerson doesn't suit up, and I know that's still kind of in the air, I'm going to say it right now. Dickerson doesn't suit up, it's going to be a long damn night for Alabama, because Dickerson is the anchor to that line. And without him, they're going to be in a world of hurt. If what I'm hearing isn't right, and we have Togiai, Haskell Garrett, and the like, because little known fact, you have guys like Chase Young and Nick Bosa and Joey Bosa in the last years have graded out by Pro Football Focus in the high 90s, like 96. Chase Young's like the highest.
Views on the 22 rated them all as 97, 98s.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, prior prospects, top 5 on our board, top 2, number 1, stuff like that.
Haskell Garrett is the number 1 rated interior lineman, and he's not getting the credit. The dude got shot in the face in the offseason.
Yeah.
Practiced 2 days before the first game.
And played week 1.
To be the number 1 interior lineman in college football. Dude slept on. And if they get the pressure, and that's the one thing that Mac Jones has not experienced at all this year. He hasn't been pressured. We have not seen a flustered Mac Jones. You've seen Justin Fields get punched in the mouth numerous times this year by good defensive lines. Take hits time and time again. You know what Justin Fields is about when the going gets tough and the pocket collapses.
Part of that's his fault, though.
I can't wait for this one. Y'all giving me some ammo.
And that's no lie. But we have not seen Mac Jones on the run, when the pocket collapses and he doesn't have the protection that he's had all year.
For what it's worth, I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure I saw where Ryan Day said that they would be good to go.
I've heard that I hear that we have plenty of players, and that's about all that I've heard. We're gonna
keep an eye on that. Okay, don't worry, we're gonna keep an eye on that, because that's an important part of the game. Dion, let's get your final thoughts on the Ohio State defensive line so we can get to Bama.
Man, I appreciate Mr. West so bad. Like, to me, he just reaffirms like what I was saying earlier. Like, it's no knock on Ohio State's offensive line, but just Alabama's offensive line. And as much as I hate the SEC bias, but they went against the SEC all year long, and Mac Jones did not get touched all year long. For fans who aren't, paying attention to college football, historically, we've been putting out these edge rushers. This year is up the middle. Like, it's straight up in your face. Like, you know what I mean? Like, run stoppers, pass rushers coming up the middle. And for me, I think the key to give us, Ohio State, the edge is we got to get Tyreek Smith and Cooper going. That they have to contribute. Like, they have to shut down the edge. And because it's not going to go up the middle, especially if Dickerson's not playing. Like, Alabama is not going to have much success up the middle, but they do have really good tackles. And if Cooper and Smith can get going, it's in our favor.
So, Tanya, defensive line, Alabama versus offensive line of actual Ohio State here. You don't have the normal horses that you have, the Jonathan Allens and those type of guys, but you still do have some talent here. How do you feel you guys will fare against this big physical offensive line of the Ohio State Buckeyes?
I think it'll be a struggle. It's not going to be easy. I don't know. First of all, let me just go back for a second, because what y'all not gonna do is act like my quarterback ain't been pressured. Okay, let me tell you something.
He ain't.
We finna back up off my quarterback. That's what we
He
finna
ain't
do.
been pressured at all this year.
No, give me one game where he's been uncomfortable this year.
The beginning. Now I actually was there. At the beginning, I don't know what happened to him, but at the beginning of the Georgia game, he did, because he threw an interception. He was really pressured at the beginning of the game, and he was very frustrated.
That's the only talented team he faced so far
for one quarter.
But here's the thing.
Now, whatever happened to Georgia after that, I don't know. Now they don't got nothing to do with me.
Georgia had
that don't got nothing to do with
Florida. I think Georgia and Florida, both teams, did a much better job. I think here's the thing. I just think it's a down year in the SEC. I think all of the pass rushers are kind of gone. I mean, I think Ohio State ran through a cakewalk too. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
Clemson, Ohio State,
cakewalk.
and Ohio State, Clemson, Notre Dame, Alabama, all y'all was done. All y'all was done. It was a pitch black night. All y'all was like that walking down the street. I don't want to hear that. All of y'all was slaw, and y'all competition was slaw.
Yeah.
So with that being said, let's see how we come in here and wreck the rickety wreck the whole thing. But I just think the talent-wise, I think these were the three, and I'm speaking just of Clemson, Ohio State, and of Alabama. These are clearly the three best programs, because even what you lose is some of the talent that you've lost, you've still found a way to get other big-name recruits. Like, it's really a big deal here this year for these teams for those reasons, because the matchups that matter are the same matchups that matter every year. The trenches are strong on both ends, especially the offensive lines. The defensive lines both have guys that can get pressure up the middle, and they don't have the traditional edge rushers. The linebacking cores are whatever. Shaun Wade, you got to play better, bro.
Man, okay. Can I get a minute on Shaun Wade?
You category 5, get him.
This man has to play a million times better than he did last week. I saw him get burned on every double move he saw last weekend.
Man,
and he's out here in the media talking like he wants all the smoke. You got to provide the smoke.
He wants my Heisman winner, is what he said. That's what he said.
Yeah, that's what he said.
He don't want
that smoke.
That's
what he said.
He don't want that smoke.
Listen, I am a diehard Buckeye, but I do not. Shaun Wade, you got to make me believe, because I do not believe right now.
I retweeted him that. You don't want that smoke. Don't call for something you don't want.
I don't see the first round grade on Wade. I really don't.
He doesn't have a first round grade.
This man is playing. This dude has more at stake than any other player in this game, because he's playing for a national championship and he's also playing to regain two rounds of draft stock that he lost last weekend.
Yes.
It ain't that he lost last weekend.
And
he just hasn't been consistent, period. He hasn't been consistent. But this is what you get.
He got exposed.
Well, I seen him doing the shoulder lean on a play, and the receiver didn't even have the ball.
Man, what?
Yo, that one.
He was on the ground. He was falling, and then Trevor Lawrence seen the dude was open, and then he threw the ball, and then he ran around him like, excuse me.
Yeah, we're talking about.
And then he scored a touchdown. Mm-hmm. And that was the last time Clemson scored. And I was like,
the man had an 8-yard cushion against his receiver when he caught the ball and still didn't touch him before he got to the end zone.
Listen, let me tell you something. We're getting ready to wrap up the show here, but I'm just going to spend 5 seconds on this. Mr. Wade, not Dwayne Wade. You ain't the good Wade. You ain't Wade Park. You ain't Wade and them. You ain't Wade, the battle rap dancer from You Got Served. You ain't none of them. You need to figure out what the hell you gonna do, because corner don't look like a good thing for you right now. I'm just saying, I'm gonna watch all your tape again, and I'm gonna watch it from when you were inside, which it looks like you're better inside when you know you got a little help over top. But let me tell you something, that was unacceptable. You can't be doing a shoulder lean, and the receiver is still running a route. And I'm gonna show y'all the play, and I'm gonna gift it, and I'm gonna send it to y'all, and y'all gonna be like, "Yo, what? Only you would find this." Yeah, I found it. Holy, where'd you find this?
This man might have to move to free safety to have a good pro career.
I don't think so. I think he can play. He can play nickel. He can play that nickel back and excel there. You know,
he looked like Buster Screen is his daddy.
He's not. He's not.
He looked like Buster Screen is his daddy. Because Buster Screen, he may not be in the league after this year. He better not be. So with that being said, we're gonna go into the pick'em portion of the show as we wrap it up.
Germ. Let me get mine.
Oh, wait. Before we go to the pick'em, I want to let Ty take the floor. You got 2 minutes, brother.
Let's go with this one real quick. We got the ones in the trenches. Now let's remember, okay, we can already kill the narrative of what conference is better than what this year, because both of these conferences was a joke. But we want to sit here and talk about Mac. Remember, Mac came in against LSU and almost got Alabama the win under one of the best LSU teams we've ever seen. And we talking about that this man's going to be rattled. Rattled how? Don't forget that he can run. So if you do blitzing, he will take off on you. So don't sleep on that. And he's probably the best quarterback that Alabama's had in a long time as being pro-ready. He is the most pro-ready and the most calm. Hitting him in the mouth is not going to do nothing to him. That's not going to do nothing to him. And remember, Alabama has 3 offensive linemen that won Lineman of the Year. The center and both the tackles won the interior lineman of the year, the tackle of the year, and also the center of the year. And we're talking about, man, look, I'm telling you, Ohio State has one of the best. But this is going to come down, like you said, it's going to come down to interior linemen. Pressuring him, I'm telling you, don't sleep on Mac. He'll make you pay for that, especially with the fact that you just caught Wade. You just called out Smith. The dude has every single SEC record as a wide receiver, broke all of Julio Jones records. And we're talking, and you thinking you're going to shut him down? I hope you ready for the smoke that you caused in that kitchen, because the fire's going to burn you if you don't back it up. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm coming to your Twitter and I'm going to light you up. I'm going to make you to the point where you're going to make me block.
I already did. I already did.
And then Waddle the Jet is playing. Bro, I'm telling you, you got to hit Waddle. That is the only way you can stop him. You got to get physical with him and knock him off his routes, because I don't know if he's a complete receiver that you can just say that he's going, no matter if you get physical with him, he's going to continue to play. Ohio State has the talent. The corners are talented enough, but the problem is, are they ready for that type of people that's been together that long? Who's ever the experience plus being long is going to be the winner of this game. The defensive tackles, the defensive linemen. Neither team has a linebacker except for Ohio State. I really love what is it, number 0? I think what is his name?
You talking about my boy Warren?
0 for Ohio State.
Cooper.
Oh, Cooper. Yeah, my bad.
I love that guy. He can cover from side to side. That's going to be a game changer right there, and you're going to need it. This game's going to come down to the interior line, who's going to push who around, who's going to stay the most calm under pressure. Justin Fields showed me that he can take a hit because that helmet to the back and right in the ribs, that's a very painful tackle. If you've never been hit with the crown of a helmet in the exposed ribs and towards the back area, I'm telling you, you ain't felt no pain in football until you got one of those helmets right into you. It knocks the wind out of you and makes you think you're about to meet Jesus.
I better never hear anybody question Justin Fields hard after that.
Man.
You can't question that. That's not possible.
Absolutely, man. I'm telling you.
So we're gonna go around now, and Todd, with that passion, now you got to make a pick. Who you going with? Ohio State, or you going with the Crimson Tide of Alabama?
Listen, man. Ohio State really doesn't have to prove nothing because if they win this, it's just, look, they pissed off. Flat out, they pissed off that everybody's saying that they didn't deserve to get in because of the wins. They don't really have much to play for except for that. Alabama, remember, they got beat by Ohio State the last time they faced. This is something personal to a lot of them players. Alabama's got to win this one. I'm going to go with Alabama in a shootout. I'm going 48. I'm going 48-45 Alabama. This is going to be a shootout, baby. Turn on the popcorn, get it ready, because I'm telling you, it's a shootout.
Zach.
Oh, okay. Let me backtrack here. Yeah, Mac Jones may have almost won that LSU game, but Cardale Jones also has a national championship. So I don't put too much stock in one-off, no film on a quarterback at the time kind of situation. But that being said, a lot's going to depend on who plays in this game. I think that for me, that's going to be the deciding factors. If anybody is missing from Ohio State's interior line, it's a wrap for them. I'm sorry. Their corners are not good enough to contain Smith alone, let alone if Waddle suits up as well. So with that being said, I'm going to say this with everybody healthy, everybody lining up. Give me the Buckeyes.
Okay.
35-28.
A touchdown. Okay. Dion, what you got for us?
Man, I hate all that what Tom was saying, man. And I think if Ohio State, the key is, there's a lot of keys.
Also, they got the janitor key ring, huh?
I
got the keys.
The real key or real stat that we need to really take advantage of is time of possession. Because if we want to do the shootout game, I think not that we can't shoot out with Alabama. I don't think that would favor us. Alabama, they can get up and score quick. That being said, like I said in the beginning of this video, we got to play defense with our offense, keep them off the field. With that being said, everything happening, I got us winning 40-35.
Storms, Category 5. What you got for me?
Well, now that Tyshawn's done yelling at the mic like Cedric the Entertainer on a Nelly album.
Oh!
So the greatest thing about being a fan of Ohio State or Alabama is never expecting to lose a game, ever. That is hands down the best part. That said, the last 2 games that I fully expected us to lose were last weekend against Clemson and 2014 against Alabama, and we mopped the floor with both of them. coming into this game, I kind of got the same feeling, so I'm going to go against my better judgment. And I changed my name to Category 9 because we're going to hoist our 9th trophy this year. I also think it's going to be a shootout. It's going to be a high-scoring game. I think I don't think either of these defenses has 4 or 5 stops in them. I think it's going to be 2-3 stops max on both sides. I got the Buckeyes. Give me 52-45. It's going to be a legit shootout.
The national championship game.
Hey, and you know what's
putting up 50 points.
Hey, Zach, what if they do though? What if they put up 60? What if somebody put up 60?
Then I'll come on Views the next time and I'll say I was wrong. Ain't nobody putting up 50 damn points in this game. Period. You can put a T at the end of that month.
Okay, so Zach, here's my thing about that.
Okay.
So in last week against Notre Dame and week 1 against, I don't even remember who it was now, are the only 2 times this year that Alabama has not put up 41. So we have to score 45. We have to.
Okay.
It's the only way we win. And the only reason they didn't score 41 last week is because they went up 14-0 and just coasted.
Okay, but you're talking in hypotheticals here. Clemson had never given up that many scoring possessions in a row. 7 scoring possessions in a row. And they weren't field goals either. They were touchdowns. So, you're talking in hypotheticals. This is not the same.
Before I let Tanya go,
if it makes you feel any better, just call it Buckeyes by 7.
I did. 35-28.
No, I'm just saying. It don't have to be 52-45, but we gotta score 40 points.
Ty, what you gonna say?
Hey, remember the last time Dabo got blown out? Guess where I'm from and guess who done it? And remember that score?
That was Steve Slayton, right?
That was Steve Slayton, Pat White, Chris
And
Henry.
Divine. Oh my God.
70 to 33, and the coach's name was Dabo Sweeney. He got blown out. Oh, baby. It can happen again, I'm telling you, because Clemson, man. Tanya, come on, baby. Come on.
Good stuff, Cedric.
Hey, yo, baby, we're going to do it. Let's go.
Tanya, who you got winning this game? Lord have mercy.
It ain't going to be, it is not about to be no mopping no floors, not about to be no 9th championship. It's about to be Alabama. I'm going to say 48-41.
Jesus Christ.
Hey, look. So I guess I shouldn't get my
Y'all
score.
better be betting over. That's all I got to say.
I'm going to tell you the score. I think the score.
Jerm.
I think the final score of this game is going to be like 52-45, something crazy. I'm going to tell you, I just feel like, first of all, I feel like we're going to see about 5 50-plus yard plays, at least 5. And I think those are going to go for touchdowns. So that right there is at least 35 points.
At least one of those is going to be Trey Sermon.
Hey, one of them is going to be Najee Harris clearing one of the linebackers from Ohio State. One of them is going to be Waddle on a screen pass. The other one's going to be Trey Sermon. Then it's going to be Chris Olave 50-yard bomb from midfield. And I ain't determined if Devin is going to get a long one or if he's just going to score in the red zone. I don't know yet.
So Waddle's going to waddle his way to a big touchdown.
Yeah, I think Waddle going to take. I think he's healthy, and I think it's going to be the turtle race.
What I will say is they focus a lot on Devontae Smith, which is good, but they don't focus on Billingsley. They don't focus on Mitchie, and that's fine. Yeah. Leave them open.
Hey, and number eight for Alabama, number 8. He's
leave them open. They'll do it too. They'll do that. They fine with that too.
But we could do that all day. Most Alabama fans have never heard of Garrett Wilson. They don't know who Jackson Smith and Jigba is. They've all made plays. Like, we could do that all day.
So, look, we're going to have fun. We're going to have fun with this. I'm just letting y'all know. I'm not picking the team, though, because I'm going to save that for the View show on Monday.
I'm sure y'all covered this earlier, but one more thing that I got to say. I think in order for us to win, I think Trey Sermon has to have at least at least 20 carries, maybe 25.
I like it.
So with that being said, we got the illustrious family from the scene here on the scene live, reporting live from the national championship preview. Just going ahead, getting all of it out today. We at Views will finish up this on Monday night before the game. Who knows? We may see one of these folks again. Who knows? I don't know yet. I don't know what's gonna happen. Since we got all of these references from battles and stuff like that, I don't know what's gonna happen in my Mekhi Phifer voice. It's just, I don't know what's gonna happen. So with that being said, Germ So True. We got West Trick, category 5, category 9 now. Dion, Tanya, the first lady, and of course, Ty Neal. This is the scene.